Mark, it's absolutely awesome today to be able to spend a little time with you, just reflecting on what was without doubt a highly successful inaugural Manufacturing Leaders Summit 2026. You must be thrilled, not only with the turnout, but the feedback you've received, Mark.
Yeah, you know what? Yes. I drove away from that really proud of what we've achieved. It was hard work. It was probably a year in the making. It was months of very intense work to get it done. The first time we've ever done anything like that at all. I think actually the first time anyone's ever done something like that before. And yeah, it's not often I say that, but I was really proud of it.
Yeah, and you should be. It was an incredible summit attended by some phenomenal speakers, but also attended by hundreds of Northeast-based founders, leaders, CEOs of manufacturing businesses. So as you say, no mean feat. For anyone watching this pod who perhaps doesn't know you, Mark, or indeed your business, Theo James, could you just tell me a little bit about Theo James and specifically why you decided to spend 12 months of your life organizing and delivering our first ever Manufacturing Leaders Summit here in the region?
Yeah, of course. So my business is Theo James Recruitment. So we were founded in 2015, working solely within the engineering and manufacturing networks, predominantly the Northeast, but also the north of England. So that's the business I run. That's the business I'm very proud to run. I started a podcast 4 years ago called the Manufacturing Leaders Podcast, and didn't have any big, massive plans for that. It was a case of let's just jump online with some of my clients, record some content and see what happens. And I always said off the back of that, if we ever got to 100 episodes, it was almost like a bit of a joke, we'd do something.
Yes.
And I think as it got closer to that stage, I kind of had to put money where my mouth is. So we decided, I think at the time, it was a bit of a thank you to people who come on the podcast. A lot of the people who were involved on the day, people like yourself, had been on the podcast.
Right.
And it was, I wanted to almost go, let's put these people, let's create a platform. And I think off the back of that, it just grew arms and legs and traction, and it just, things started happening. I was introduced by John Hamill, the MD of Grecom. And when we're looking at an event, I think the traditional setup for any event is a speaker, break speaker.
Yes.
And that was the initial plan to do that. I was introduced to New College Durham as a potential venue, as an alternative to your hotel type thing.
Sure.
And they were tremendous. They got it. They understood why we wanted to do it. I explained to them that I wanted to get 150 to 200 manufacturing leaders in the room, which scared me just talking about it. But once I'd said that and once they agreed, I had to deliver it.
That's right, committed to it.
And I think for me, two of my passions are manufacturing, an industry I've worked in for 15, 16 years now. And also raising money for a tremendous charity called Red Sky Foundation. I know you've had Sergio on your podcast. Brilliant guy, fantastic charity. I lost my dad 5 years ago to a cardiac arrest, and I've always tried to do what I can for heart-related charities. Red Sky in particular is a charity that I just connected to, because what I love about it is everything you do, every penny you raise, you tangibly can see what you've done. You can see the defibs in the area, and you know for a fact the work you've done can save a life. And I've busted my body into ultra marathons and fitness things to raise 4 or 5 grand in it over the last few years, and it's been great, and I will continue to do that. But I thought this was an opportunity to go, let's really use this event as a funnel to actually create some amazing value for manufacturing, but also create some revenue for Red Sky, and some awareness, more importantly, for Red Sky. And that's what we did, and that's what we've done. So yeah, it went from a very uncomplicated idea to something which was far beyond what I ever imagined. But yeah, that's what we did.
No, well, I love your motivation and why it is you've decided this year for the first time to host the Manufacturing Leaders Summit, Mark, and your father would be so proud, without doubt. Let me just ask, obviously, as you say, I was one of the speakers on the day, so I know, but many of our viewers won't. What were the key themes that your speakers spoke about, and what do you hope the leaders in attendance took away?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for me, it was always important that the overarching theme, I guess, was leadership. And a lot of out of 190 people that turned up, they were pretty much all leaders in their own right, or aspiring leaders. So I knew the content needed to be towards that target audience. And I think a lot of the events I go to, they have some really inspirational leaders or talks behind leadership.
Yes.
And that was important to have. But I also really wanted to challenge us to put on an event which actually would challenge people's mindset and give them access to people they wouldn't normally have access to. And I think organically, the podcast has led me down various routes. And I looked at all the guests and thought, like, how can we create something new, which is a little bit different? So we had the traditional, professional, polished speakers like your Benjamin Jory, your Chris Cooks, who were just excellent. You couldn't hear a pin drop. What we also had is we looked at ladies like Alex, who owns STEM Amazing, when she talks about STEM, and you look at the challenges in manufacturing. We had Bill Marley, who uses Pension Pot to create something to help the industry. So we had people on there who were inspiring, who would actually try to challenge people's mindset, and I wanted people to drive home going, right, I need to do something myself there. But actually the seminars we did were completely different. We had yourself and Sam talking about, obviously, trying to bring as much value as business possibly can do, shareholder value, which again, that is quite rare. You get access to people like you and Sam. We had Sharon MacArthur talking about menopause, and again, people were coming out of there, couldn't believe it. Something we would never normally do. We had Anthony Hutton on mental health. Then we had traditional ones on manufacturing and lean and Kaizen. So I think what we wanted to do is really create something which would not only challenge people, but actually take something away so they came back to work the next day and did something different.
Love that. And as you say, such a variety of different topics and subjects. And the reason you had your breakout sessions was to allow people to choose what might be most appropriate for them and their business, given where perhaps their business is at in their life cycle. Obviously, you are clearly hugely passionate about all things manufacturing and engineering here in the Northeast, even though I know you've got clients, Mark, further afield. What do you think comes next for your Manufacturing Leaders Summit 2026? Surely, Mark, it's not a one-time only summit?
Yeah, it's if you'd ask my wife Nicola, she would probably say this is a one-time thing.
Imagine what she would say.
There was a few sleepless nights around the room, shall we say?
Totally.
But I think once you've done something, you've got the blueprint, and I think without doubt we will do it again. What I've loved the fact is the New College Durham has had so many fantastic connections off the back of this. And the people in the room have got some great connections of people they've met, and I think there's some real power in that actually we created an event which not only inspired people to change, but actually they make connections which are going to help their business. And one of the biggest issues in manufacturing now is the skills gap and the lack of young people getting into the industry. So it makes absolute sense to try and do something again and make sure it's even bigger and better. We will continue to do it for Red Sky. We'll continue to do it for New College Durham because they've been a tremendous partner for us and will remain the case. It's maybe an exclusive. But we are launching now, and this was never the plan. I'll be honest with you, it was never the plan to do. But I think sometimes the best things happen by chance and happen organically.
Of course they do. That's right.
And it makes perfect sense with the events we do, with the summits, with the podcasts, with the news, everything we do to create a manufacturing leaders network, which will be completely free. It will be completely free. It will be solely for leaders with manufacturing, aspiring leaders or leaders who are already in those positions to help connect the industry. And what my big vision is to almost become a bit of a central hub. So to connect all the networks that are already there, to connect all the people in the Northeast and the North, and just really be a place where not only leaders, but apprentices can come, apprenticeships can connect and to help the industry. So it's big, it's grand, but I'm excited by it. And the next 6 to 9 months will be me planning this and trying to make it happen. But without doubt, there's something will happen again. Will it be every year? Possibly not. Will it be every 18 months or 24 months? Yes, because I think that is enough time to be able to do it properly. What I don't want to do is just have to do something every year and get it done.
No.
I don't want to rush it. We'll need, new content, new speakers, new ideas. The next time we do it, I also want to lean much more into the networking piece.
Yes.
I want to make sure that people leave that room with more connections and people they can call upon and help the business. So I'll definitely do it again, but I've got some ideas how to change it.
No, well, I mean, first of all, thanks for the exclusive. It sounds really exciting. And as you say, you've set the bar high And therefore, if there is to be, Mark, Manufacturing Leaders Summit 2027 or beyond, then for sure, big shoes to fill, certainly when it comes to people like Alfie Dewey, who of course was the compere and facilitator, who's a good friend of ours and a phenomenal host. So definitely the bar is set high. I guess my last question is, for any viewers who are watching this, who would like to either find out more about Theo James recruitment, because they might have a recruitment requirement. It might be to become more involved in the Manufacturing Leaders Network locally, which hasn't formally launched, but nonetheless, you're a very connected man. How can they get in touch with you, Mark?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn is probably the best way. I'm pretty active on there, so I think LinkedIn is probably the best way. And without doubt, everything we do on the networking side is completely free. This network is kind of already created. For the last 3-4 years, we've been doing events, we've been doing site tours with clients, we've been doing roundtables. So it's an extension of that. So if anyone's ever interested in coming along to those, they are they're private, they're conversational, they're chatty, and you meet like-minded people. So just get in touch that way, and I'm more than happy to speak.
Awesome. Mark, thank you for spending some time with me this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Appreciate it.